I'm Nathan. I'm 29. And for a long time I thought I was in love with someone who just needed a little space. So that was my first mistake. Believing the story I was told instead of seeing what was really happening. Our story, Claire's and mine, had been written over 3 years. Her name was Clara, woman of amazing opposites. She was smart enough to talk about space science and funny enough to make you cry with laughter over a badly baked cake. She was the kind of person who kept a color-organized list of her friends' birthdays and would openly cry during the first 10 minutes of a Disney movie. We had built a life inside a sunny knee. One-bedroom apartment that always smelled faintly of her lavender air freshener and my dark coffee. We weren't a perfect couple, because no one is, but our base felt like solid rock, or so I thought. The crack appeared on a cool Tuesday night in early October. The air outside held the first real cold of fall, but inside our apartment, the temperature was about to drop. She sat me down on the edge of our bed, the one we'd picked out together after a long weekend of store hopping. She didn't look angry or upset. She just looked tired. It was a deep, bone-deep tiredness that seemed to have settled over her, putting out the usual light in her eyes. "Nate," she began, her voice quiet and steady, which was somehow more scary than if she had been screaming. "I've been thinking a lot lately. I need some time to focus on myself." The words hung in the air, cold and empty. My own thoughts, however, were a wild, messy chaos. Fear, cold and sharp, grabbed my chest. "Did I do something wrong?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Is it something I said? Something I didn't do?" "Oh no," she said, her answer quick, almost practiced. "This isn't about you. It's about me. My worry has been so bad, Nate. I feel like I'm drowning and I need to step back from everything, even us." She waved vaguely around the room at the life we had built. "I need to remember who I am on my own. I've seen burnout before. I've seen what crushing worry can do to the strongest people. So I didn't push back. I didn't argue. I did what I thought a loving partner should do. I supported her. I pulled her into a hug, feeling the stiff tension in her shoulders. "Okay," I whispered into her hair. "Whatever you need. I'll be here when you're ready." We agreed to take a break. It was a soft, unclear term for what felt like a surgical cut. There was no big blow-up, no dramatic fight, just a quiet, unsettling space opening between us. She packed a single bag, claiming she'd be staying at her sister's place across town for a while. "It's just temporary," I told myself after she left, the click of the front door echoing in the sudden silence. "I won't lie," I cried that night. I sat on the floor of our too-empty apartment and let the sadness wash over me, believing it was for a temporary loss. I was so convinced of her struggle that I defended her to my friends. When my best friend Jared started to express doubt, I shut him down. "She's just struggling," I insisted, my voice firm. "We all do sometimes. She needs my support, not our judgment." I meant every word. I believed her completely. But what happened next didn't just break my heart, completely changed how I see people forever. The first week was a study in slow-motion pain. The apartment was a museum of her absence. Her favorite mug sat by the sink. Her half-finished book was on the nightstand. I kept my phone close, a lifeline to a woman who seemed to be drifting further out to sea. I sent her short, low-pressure text, a picture of a dog we both liked in the park. A quick note about a project at work just to let her know she was on my mind. Her replies were scattered and painfully polite. "Thanks for checking in. Just taking things one day at a time. Hope work's okay." Each message was a cold, self-contained unit, offering no grip for a real conversation. It was like texting with a corporate HR department. I told myself she just needed quiet. Her Instagram, usually a bright display of her life, went completely dark. No new posts, no stories of her sister's cat, no likes on my photos. For someone who shared daily sunsets and inspiring quotes, this digital silence felt scary. Still, I respected the boundaries she had set. I refused to be the needy boyfriend who couldn't handle a little space, so I doubled down on myself. I hit the gym, pushing my body until the physical tiredness crowded out the emotional chaos. I focused on work, diving into complex code that demanded all my attention. I tried to become the man she would be proud to come back to. Week 2 arrived with a heavier silence. My carefully built patience began to wear thin. I sent a simple text. "Hey, no pressure. Just wondering how you're doing." The hours went by. Text stayed unread. Then it was marked as read, with no reply. That was the first time a flicker of real, undeniable doubt sparked in my stomach. I tried to push it down, telling myself she was overwhelmed, that her phone was off, that she was deep in a healing retreat from the world. The truth arrived that evening, not with a whisper, but with a digital bomb. Jared and I were at a bar, my first real night out since Claire left. I was nursing a beer, trying to pretend I was having a good time, when Jared's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his face changed. The casual, friendly look was replaced by one of deep awkwardness and pity. "What is it?" I asked. He hesitated, turning his phone over on the table. "Man, I don't know if I should show you this." "Show me," I said, my voice flat. He sighed and pushed the phone toward me. It was a Snapchat story from a mutual friend, someone on the edge of our social circle. The photo was bright, loud, and celebratory. Claire was in the center of it, dressed in a stunning emerald green dress. She was glowing, laughing, with her head thrown back. Next to her stood a tall guy with a sharp buzz cut and expensive-looking designer sneakers. And on Claire's left ring finger, catching the light with rude brightness, was a diamond. The caption underneath read, "That glow, though congrats, Claire and Jordan." I stared at the image, my brain refusing to process the information. The noise of the bar faded into a dull roar. The beer in my hand felt impossibly heavy. Is this a joke? I finally managed to ask Jared, my eyes still glued to the screen. Is it fake? He just gave me that awful, sympathetic look, the one people give you when they know a truth so terrible they wish they didn't have to deliver it. My stomach didn't just drop. It felt like it had been scooped out with a hot ladle. My hands shaking, I opened my own phone. I searched through tagged stories, my heart pounding with a sickening rhythm. Nothing on Claire's own profile, of course. But then I found it in another friend's story. The same party, a different angle. And this one had a tag that sealed it. #surprise engagement weekend, my Claire. There she was, smiling, engaged. 2 weeks after telling me she needed space for her mental health. The carefully built story she had sold me, the one I had so dutifully believed and defended, shattered into a million pieces. The grief I'd been nursing turned instantly to shame. I stumbled out of the bar, leaving Jared to pay the tab. I sat on the floor of my apartment, my phone feeling like a live grenade in my hand. Engaged? To whom? When? How? The guy's name was Jordan, EM. A quick search revealed a private social media account, but his profile picture was him in the same suit, with the same smug smile. I called her straight to voicemail. Her cheerful, recorded voice was a cruel mockery. I called again, voicemail. My texts became a desperate, one-sided conversation typed out by trembling thumbs. "Claire, I saw the photo. Are you seriously engaged? What is happening? I don't understand. Please just talk to me. 3 years meant something, didn't they? I deserve more than this." I waited an hour, 2 hours. The blue bubbles sat there, unanswered. Finally, at 2 a.m., as I was staring at the ceiling, my phone buzzed. A single message from her. "I didn't want you to find out like this. I'm sorry." That was it. 10 words to burn down 3 years of a life built together. No explanation, no denial. Not even the courtesy of a phone call. The worst part? Small, stupid part of me was still hoping she'd say it was all a crazy misunderstanding. But I didn't matter enough for that. Didn't even matter enough for a full sentence. And that's when the pain and shame began to cool, to harden. It started turning into something else. Not just heartbreak, not just confusion. It was a cold, clear, and clarifying rage. But I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone against the wall. I didn't get drunk and leave a rambling, tear-filled voicemail. I sat in the silent darkness, and for the first time in weeks, my mind felt sharp. I planned. It was about a month after that soul-crushing text. Life has a funny way of putting liars within walking distance. I was coming home from the gym when I saw the moving truck parked just outside my townhouse complex. It was a small, quiet community of only 10 units, so a new neighbor was a notable event. I glanced over, thinking nothing of it, and then I froze. There she was, Claire. She was laughing, directing the movers as they carried a familiar armchair. Next to her, carrying a box of kitchen supplies, was him, Jordan. They were moving into the unit 2 doors down from mine. The sheer boldness was breathtaking. She never needed space. She needed a new space with him. She had the nerve to think I'd never find out, or perhaps that I would just quietly accept it. My first instinct was to storm over there, to confront them, to unleash the flood of rage and betrayal that was boiling inside me. But that would have been too easy for them. It would have made me the crazy ex-boyfriend, allowing them to paint me as unhinged and justify their actions. No, that wasn't the way. Instead, I watched. Quietly. My apartment suddenly became a strategic observation post. From my home office window, I had a clear view of their front door. I learned their routines. Claire left for her job at a marketing firm every morning at 8 a.m. Jordan, it turned out, worked from home. He was trying to launch a new online fitness brand, a venture built entirely on the concept of authenticity. His tagline, plastered across his starting website, was real fitness, real life, no fake influencers. The irony was so thick it was suffocating. One afternoon, I saw him filming workout clips on the shared front lawn, shirtless and performative, his camera set up on a tripod. The man who stole my life was now using our shared space as his personal film set. I almost laughed. That night, I did a deep dive. I found his socials, his half-finished website, his new business email. He wanted a fresh start with Claire. Fine, I was going to help them burn it to the ground. The campaign began subtly. I created a new email and a new anonymous Instagram account burner with a generic profile picture and no followers. I followed Jordan's fitness page and at first just watched. Then I began to plant seeds of doubt. Underneath the video of him demonstrating a squat, I left a simple, innocent-sounding comment. Great form, just wondering, are you certified through NASM or ACE? Looking for a new coach, and credentials are super important to me. Under a post about his nutrition plan, I asked, this looks interesting. Does your website list your credentials or any client insurance policies? The comments were polite, inquisitive, and utterly reasonable, and they worked. Other prospective clients started chiming in, asking similar questions. Jordan's replies were defensive and vague, and the veneer of his authenticity began to crack. Next, I went for the foundation of his operation, his home base. A quick check of our HOA agreement confirmed my suspicion. Running a client-facing business, especially one that could involve personal training sessions, was a clear violation. An anonymous email sent from a Proton Mail account was all it took. I tipped off the city business registry and our HOA management company about the unregistered business being run from his residence. A week later, I was sipping my morning coffee when I saw the crisp white envelope of an official notice being taped to their front door. I watched from my window as Claire arrived home from work, saw the letter, and ripped it open. I saw her shoulders slump. I saw her turn and look toward the house, her expression a mixture of irritation and anxiety. It was a start. But I wasn't done. He used a prepaid credit card to purchase his flagship online fitness program. Let's buy it. It was a laughable collection of generic, copy-pasted routines and stolen motivational quotes. The custom meal plan was a PDF I found on a free health blog with a few words changed. The glowing testimonials on his site. I did a reverse image search and found them all to be stock photo models. I crafted a meticulous, detailed, and utterly devastating review on a popular fitness forum, complete with screenshots pointing out the lack of warm-ups, the dangerous form recommendations, and the fake testimonials. 2 days later, his website was taken down for unscheduled maintenance. The best part? I hadn't even touched Claire yet. That required a more personal touch. In the chaos of the breakup, we had forgotten to disentangle our digital lives. She was still on our shared Spotify family plan. One evening, knowing they were home, I logged in. I created a new playlist and titled it, You Lied. Remember? I filled it with every breakup song I could think of, every petty track about infidelity, and for the grand finale, the one screechy pop song she absolutely despised. Then, I used the Connect to a Device feature and started playing it on their living room smart speaker. I set it on repeat. She turned it off. I turned it back on. After the third time, I was finally removed from the Spotify account. It was a small, petty act, but the disruption, the psychological invasion, was the point. The main course was yet to come. I called my friend Sam, who works in commercial real estate. After I explained the situation, she was more than happy to do me a small favor. She discovered that Claire and Jordan were only renting their unit on a month-to-month basis. I forwarded Sam everything I had compiled. The HOA violation notice, video footage of Jordan filming his ads without a permit, and a log of late-night noise from his at-home training sessions. One official call from Sam's office to the property manager, framed as a concerned inquiry from another resident about declining property values, was all it took. They were hit with a formal lease review. I watched as a stern-looking man in a suit toured their unit one afternoon, clipboard in hand, his expression grim. By the following week, a for-rent sign was hammered into the lawn in front of their home. Claire stopped smiling on her dog walks. Jordan stopped filming shirtless in the yard. A few days later, I finally ran into her. She was alone, walking her dog, moving slowly with her head down, her eyes locked. She tried to look away, but then stopped. "Hey, Nathan." I simply raised my eyebrows. "Look," she started. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "Yeah," I said, my voice empty of emotion. "I heard the website's down." Her face twitched. "You know about that?" I gave a small, polite smile. "It's a small community. People talk." She studied my face, searching for a confession. "Did you do something?" I tilted my head, pretending confusion. "Like what?" "It sounds like you two have had a string of bad luck." I wasn't going to admit anything. The not knowing, the worry that it could have been anyone, or everyone, was going to haunt her far longer than the truth ever could. "We're probably moving soon," she mumbled, defeated. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, I figured." She stared at me for a moment longer, then turned and walked away. A week later, the moving truck returned. There was no laughter this time, no joyful energy. Just the grim, efficient work of throwing boxes into the back of a truck as quickly as possible. Their happy new start was being taken apart and packed away. Jordan didn't even look up as I walked past on my way to the gym. Claire glanced at me once, her eyes lingering for a second, a complicated storm of anger, sadness, and suspicion within them. I kept walking, my expression neutral. But the story wasn't quite over. That night, Jared sent me another link, this time to a Reddit thread. The title was "Fitness Influencer Jordan M. Exposed as a Fraud." Someone, a complete stranger, had done an even deeper dive than I had, using AI detection software to prove his workout programs were almost entirely AI-generated garbage. They had found the royalty-free YouTube footage his clips were based on. The internet was ripping his authentic brand to shreds. His Instagram vanished the next morning. Claire deleted hers the day after that. Meanwhile, I posted a gym selfie. Des one. The caption was simple. "Real gains take time. So does karma." Revenge, I learned, wasn't about rage or yelling. It wasn't about breaking things. It was about peace. It was the quiet satisfaction of knowing I had been kind, loyal, and patient, and had been betrayed for it. But it was also knowing that I didn't need to sink to their level. I simply let them build their house of cards on unstable ground, and then introduced a slight breeze. They did the rest of the work themselves. Just made sure their collapse was public. 6 months later, the for-rent sign is long gone. A nice older couple moved into their old unit. They're quiet and friendly. There's no drama. As for Claire and Jordan, they've just disappeared. No social media, no business comeback. They are a ghost story. And me, I'm better than good. I didn't just move on. I leveled up. I got that promotion at work. I started dating someone new, someone whose definition of honesty isn't situational. Most importantly, I got my peace back. True revenge isn't watching your enemies suffer. It's being so busy with your own happiness that you forget they even exist. It's waking up with a clear head, knowing you didn't need to scream. They did that all on their own. You just have to be patient enough to watch.